Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to officially open the Regional Governing Board meeting of the Southwest Vermont Regional Technical School District for Monday, August 18th, 2014. We do have a quorum present, so we will proceed. Thank you for coming out this evening. We have some special guests this evening that we're going to put right on the camera and on stage here first before even public comments because they're special. Come on up. Kathy, thanks for bringing.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Look at that, with gold medals on.
Yes.
Fantastic.
We had 3 of the 4 students here. Maya Armstrong sadly couldn't make it. She's going to school in Florida and has already started traveling out there.
Really?
And all of these ladies, these are seniors, so they've done at the CDC and will be going to college soon. So very proud of them. They won the national gold medal for Skills USA, which is a huge accomplishment. And I'll let them tell you about it.
Good.
Hi, so first of all, I just want to thank you all for the opportunity to go to Kansas City and compete. It was a really great opportunity and we had a lot of fun. So basically, when we were forming the team, we had to decide who was going to be on the team to give us the best outcome possible. So we had a quiz-off, which ended up comprising of Taylor, Catherine, myself, and Mariah. And for states, we also sent another team, which was juniors, mostly, and Taylor.
And they came in 3rd at states. So
yeah.
We got a 1st and a 3rd at states.
Wow.
So we won at states, and then we got to go to the nationals.
And to get prepared, we did a lot of studying. After we were done with school, we still came in a couple times a week and ran through some PowerPoints and practice, like standing up in the appropriate time and spelling. And we all tried to study different sections, like anatomy and then like the law part and stuff like that. So that helped us, I think.
It's really a challenge because the competition encompasses, we're competing against a lot of schools where students study this for 4 years. And I mean, just the anatomy and physiology alone is enormous. They have healthcare systems, they have medical ethics, they have legal issues, they have medical terminology, they have human growth and development, nutrition, chemistry, microbiology. To study it is really, really challenging. That's a huge amount, but we sort of know about what depth that they go into with questions in the past, and they all become experts at different areas because we, make the most of our resources.
So then the competition at nationals. So basically, you're in this huge room with a bunch of tables crammed together. You're right next to other teams, and it's pretty stressful when you walk in and see 30 other teams that you have to compete against. So basically, we just the competition is kind of like a quiz-off pool. And you have to bid and all that kind of stuff, and then you get questioned and you have to stand up, and it's just a lot of a stressful time because you have only 30 seconds for each question. So we really have to work together, and because we did it together at states, it really made us stronger as a team. So the competition was very vigorous. We were not expecting some of the questions, but we all had further anatomy classes, so we all kind of had an up, I guess you would say, and we all took online college courses in the slate during the year, so that really put us up for competing. But there was a lot of good teams there, and it was definitely a challenge, and in the end we were in a 5-way tie for 1st place, and the tiebreaker was a written test that we had to take in the beginning. The first day we had an orientation that we had to go to, and they gave you the rundown of the quiz and how it was going to work. And we were actually struck with a problem that they changed the rules of the whole competition. So it was really stressful because the whole game was completely turned around. So we had to figure out how we were going to do it. And so basically we just said, like, we're going to try our hardest and put our minds together and see what comes out. So we didn't know until 3 days later if we had won or not. And so that moment was pretty awesome. We all jumped up and cried. A lot of crying.
It was big.
Yeah, and then we got up on the stage, got our medals, and it was definitely rewarding, and we really had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Comments from the board?
May I ask what careers you ladies are heading for?
And I didn't tell you each person's name. This is Taylor Brewer,
Hi,
Emily
Taylor.
Sadnick, and Catherine Butler, and Mariah Bernstein.
I'm going to Southern Vermont College for nursing.
Super.
I'm going to Russell Stage to become a nurse practitioner.
I'm also going to Russell Stage to become a nurse and then maybe someday a nurse practitioner.
Beautiful.
And
Great.
Mariah happens to be going into nursing too. So that was a lot of my students come out and go
Yeah,
on to
she's
college for
actually-
nursing.
She's actually going to be a general surgeon.
Eventually?
Yeah, she
Okay,
said she
that's
wants to
cool.
go.
Okay.
She's smart.
Yeah, they all are smart.
Yeah, you all are. Exactly.
They're all smart.
Yes.
And they worked really, really hard.
Yeah, I think having medical professions together for the 2 years definitely helped us because we were all very close, so it made studying and staying together for almost a week in Kansas bearable.
Yeah, and we all kind of knew each other's strengths and weaknesses. So a lot of us, even though we study different sections, like we'd still help someone if they were stuck on their section, and we really made sure that we still had fun. Like we made sure we enjoyed it, but still.
And you did well. They were very stressed over the entire competition changing from what the standards are, which isn't going to happen again. And I said, you know, this happens in life. Let's just go with it. Everybody's in an even playing field now. But they're already stressed, and when you're in the team, sometimes I've seen teams get down on each other. Somebody doesn't get it right, and somebody's starting to snip. You know, those stress hormones go into town. But these guys, none of that happened. They just really supported each other well. And got a question wrong, that, you know what, let's just move on, and that's what they did.
Congratulations to all of you.
One quick and unrelated question to this team. We did very well. How many years have you been going?
10.
10?
Years.
And you've come back with medals about 8 times now?
6.
6.
3 golds, 2 silvers, and a bronze. This one seemed like the hardest, the most hard fought win. It really did. It seemed like every year, it seems like way back they used to recycle a lot of questions. So if you've been to nationals before and you studied old questions, it didn't seem like it was as hard. But now they're coming out with just bizarre questions. Like how would anybody study that?
That's because they know you're winning.
No, we're still winning.
I've heard tonight from these young ladies some of the key terms that we're hearing in education nowadays. And we want to thank you for participating in online learning, cooperative learning, collaborative learning, and problem solving. I mean, those things that you employ are skills now that you're going to carry on with you for the rest of your life. And you recognize how to handle them and how to achieve the gold star in anything you do. And I'm sure you will. I'm sure you, all 3 or 4 of you
Yes.
will succeed.
Thank you.
Yep, and we're very proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
By the way, we have a plaque that's up in the hallway.
All right. You will live on in the hallways of the CDC.
In the hallway, right. Thanks for coming here. Do we have any public comments?
Oh.
Come on.
Here I am again. Might as well keep speaking. Kathy Slade, teacher, medical professions. Just speaking about the co-op position again. I know I've spoken about it at previous meetings, education meeting, finance meeting. I know looking at the meeting minutes, each of those meetings it was discussed that co-op would be brought back half-time with, if money became available, bringing it back up to the full-time. And I just want to really stress again, I think it's something the CDC needs. I don't know if you noticed in the banner a couple days ago, NSK internships, and again, that was a direct result from what the kids did with their co-op class with Ms. Klein. So really strongly encouraging you. I don't know what the money situation is now with different positions being shifted around, but if we can make that money available, I think it should be first on the list.
I can tell you it's still on the agenda
Okay.
and for discussion.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, we're going to go into committee reports. We have in our packet minutes from the Education and Facilities Committee meeting, which took place on on June 16th. And then they had another meeting on July 28th. So, and then another one, whoops, I forgot that one too. We did one on August 11th. And that was pretty much because the agenda was heavy with program updates and changes, et cetera, that took place throughout the months of June and July. Ed, do you want to give us a rundown on those three? Or you can,
I don't even remember the first one. The last two that took place, we discussed the co-op position, the engineering program, and the business manager on sustainable foods. And the second meeting covered the same material, but it was an update on things that were still evolving. Essentially, we also talked about the cosmetology position. The committee decided to increase that to 0.75 so that we meet state requirements for the number of hours that students can be in there. We left the co-op position at half-time until we know more about the financial situation. We decided to suspend for a year the engineering position because there was a feeling there was not a qualified instructor that would fit well with the temperament of the CDC. Did I miss anything?
except for that, we decided to proceed with studying
Yes,
STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and math initiative that seems to be a big priority in the state right now, the state education department. So we're going to look at that. That's been a recommendation, and that is on the agenda to go for approval for the board this evening. So we'll get to that as well. We did have a finance committee meeting on June 16th prior to the educational facilities meeting, and that primarily was to look at year-end finances and what we had available for any of these programs. Is there anything that you wanted to report on that about?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it was really just an update of where we stand and how the money is flowing. And then we went right into the ed committee meeting for that as well. So our committee, and I also want to report that I got a call last night from Gloria Alexander, who's absent this evening. Gloria has had some setbacks with some health issues. She is better, she's getting better, but she did not feel as if she was ready to come back this evening. However, she's very concerned about the strategic planning and wants to meet with Mike and Marie Pierre and myself maybe either the first 2 weeks of September to find out the direction the new administration would like her to chart as far as strategic planning. There are some items she has. We have been working on a new mission statement and some new goals. So she wants to get your feel as to where we should proceed with that. And then once we have that meeting, we'll go ahead and schedule the strategic planning to proceed. Okay? But I think she still needs a few more days of rest, and she'll be back on board with us, it looks like, in September. She sounded good. If she's watching this evening, we wish her the best. Okay. So that's it on committee reports. Consent agenda, which is next on the agenda. Can I have a motion to accept the payroll warrants? We'll do those first.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ricky and seconded by Kevin. On the payroll warrants, there's 3 of them there. There's June, there's July, and there's August warrants for payroll. Any discussion on those? All those in favor of approving those warrants, please signify by raising your hand. That's unanimous. And then we'll look at the vendor warrants.
So moved.
Same movements and seconding. Our vendor warrants for June, July, and August. Questions? All right, none on those. Then all in favor, please signify by raising your hand that the vendor expenses. That's unanimous too. Cash flow statements, revenues and expenses. If you saw it in your packet, we have a report from Stephanie on both the expenses and the revenues shown on quite a spreadsheet. Any information that anybody needs?
I have one question.
Sure.
This is the one on 6/1 to 6/30/2014. In this report, it's the last page of it, and in this report it says that we have transportation costs of $62,500 for, keeps going out on me, I'm sorry, Arlington, but we don't take in that same amount of money from Arlington, we take in $16,986. So maybe I'm misreading that.
Are you you're looking at the revenue or the expense?
It says revenue.
The revenue, that, most of that is transportation reimbursement, and I'm waiting on the figures before I look the expected revenue for the end of this.
So they
We haven't
have-
received it. In the past, it had been done in advance, and I did it at the end of the semester. So I'm anticipating that we'll have about $60,000. It is not from Arlington. The way that the budgeted, it had been budgeted for 14 was it was all lumped under the line of transportation Arlington, but really there's small Arlington transportation and a large transportation assistance from the state, which is done, it's calculated based on miles and drop off and pick up of students.
So we don't, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, do we get enough tuition that covers the cost of transportation?
You mean, do we get enough revenue from
Yes.
that? Yes.
Okay, that's all.
Yes.
We're reimbursed for the cost of transportation.
Yes, and it generally is higher than what works.
How many students do we have?
It's not just our.
It's not, that's the
Yeah.
confusing part, that
Yeah.
the line item is.
It's all our
It's all of our
transportation.
transportation.
Oh,
Revenue.
well,
and
maybe it
reimbursement.
should be restated then in terms of, oh,
It will be, this year
Oh,
will
good.
be changed. I will change it for,
because it's misleading, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah.
It almost seems that you get very little money back from them, but you spend out like 3 times the transportation.
Right.
Okay, that's a good point, Jackie.
Yeah, I'll check it.
Okay. Ed had a question. How many students do we have from our?
Well, since that number that we just discussed includes all transportation, that
That's,
would be
It's a
valid.
good point.
It's a moot point,
Gotcha.
but,
We,
and we'll find out in October when we see the enrollment.
when the final results come in, on those, yeah, it's hard to calculate that now. Okay. Anything else on the cash flow statements at all? Revenues and expenses, okay, we don't need any action on those. We do have a superintendent's report next.
We didn't cover the vendor forms, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
I
covered
have one more question. I lost track of what we were talking about.
Okay.
On voucher 1005, page 2, there's an item that says June services year-end vendor accruals for the town of Bennington. What is that?
the police services that.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it. Okay.
I just didn't know what the item was.
All right.
Sure. our June's board,
Pardon?
the board minutes, we didn't do those.
Oh, we didn't approve the meeting minutes. Thank you. Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes for the June?
So moved.
Sorry.
Second.
Thank you, Barb. We got that. All in favor?
We're including all the committee meetings too, right?
Well, those are approved at committee level, so the board doesn't have to do that. Okay, good. Now you're on, Mike. By the way, we have a new superintendent. Mike is officially licensed. I don't know if you all know that.
Congratulations.
He's probably the youngest superintendent in the state right now.
Thanks, Jim. Good evening. I'd like to start off by congratulating again the Skills USA Gold Medal winners. It was great to see them up here tonight, and we're very proud of those students. And they're just a few of the success stories we have here at the center, so we thank them for coming tonight. I wasn't able to attend the June meeting. I was at a state CT policy seminar with other state leaders and directors from around the country. And at that meeting, we talked about state priorities and where the STEM initiative came from, the state's 6 priority career clusters, which the Secretary presented 2 weeks ago at Lake Memorial Resort at the State Teachers Conference. And it was interesting to see the direction that CT is going in the country, as well as in Vermont. It was great to be part of those talks and looking at how programming is offered in the state and looking at new and novel ways to do that. I'd also like to thank the board for its full support in the transition from being assistant director to director and acting superintendent during that June meeting. I'd like to thank you for that. Next, it's been a busy summer. Start of school is just a week from today already. Teachers are back next Monday. Students 3 days following that. We have 3 days of in-service scheduled right in the first 3 days of school. Administration's been planning those days with topics to include training from the Department of Children and Family Services on child abuse and its impact on school. We'll also be having a workshop on how to effectively integrate challenging CT curriculum into our programs. It's another topic the state is pushing, is integrating more challenging curriculum into our programming. So that's what we'll be doing. Additionally, we have a new website. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It launched officially July 1st, I do believe. Let me just refresh this. Same address, svcc.org, but it has a completely new look to it. Modern, it works on all devices, tablets and Android devices, you name it, it works on them, which wasn't the case before. The website was just old. It just needed a facelift, is what it needed. So I encourage you to check it out. It's very similar content. There's drop-down menus. There's a section for adult education, the school board, where you'll find your minutes and policies, and you'll see a secure login there. We're not quite ready to go there yet, but we're going to have a secure login for the school board in conjunction with what we use for the app on the iPad for other documentation. So you can click around that website. It's pretty neat.
And you have meeting minutes because it's down the log.
Right. So this will be much more updated. Just click on one of our programmings. It's nice and speedy. You can link to everything on the website. So I encourage you to take a look at it. It's a whole new facelift, and we're happy to have it available. The next piece with that is a technology piece. Another piece I'm really excited about. We have partnered with Blackboard for several years as part of our online learning system as an extension of our classroom. It was called Edline, and Blackboard has bought the company, and so it's still called Blackboard Edline, but Blackboard's what we're going with. So we've been working with them for the last several months in developing a new mobile app for students and parents and teachers to access grades and calendars and our social media feeds and whatnot. And we're really happy that that's been unveiled as well. It's live now on both the Apple Store and the Android and Google Play market. So I have a simulator file here for you so you can see what it looks like. It is available on the Apple Store and Google Market. This will give you a pretty good idea of what it looks like. So you download it from the App Store. It is free, and anyone can download it. It's not just for students or teachers. Type in SBCDC, and it'll pop up with our logo. On there are several features. Imagine this is your mobile phone you had in your hand. Contact us. Brings right up the main office number, adult and continuing ed, facts, etc. For those that have smartphones, you just tap on that number and away it dials to the office and whatnot. Calendar. We can have, students can have their calendar synced to their classroom calendars, our school district calendar, etc. It'll automatically add it to your devices for iOS and Android. News. Blackboard drives our news feed. We can put anything we want on there. So anything that a student subscribes to with their class or with the school, you can click on news and it's a live feed right there. You don't see much there right now because school is not in session, and it's just launched not too long ago. Edline login, that's our Blackboard login. That's a secure login place for teachers and students and parents to see grades and attendance and curriculum. It's an extension of the classroom, essentially. It's our Facebook feed, which is here. As you know, it's been very popular this year. It's grown exponentially. I forget how many hits we have on it now, but it's been quite a good endeavor. The Facebook feed, photos, we use Flickr as a photo feed. So on the app, there'll be the 20 most latest photos that we put up there. Automatically feeds from Flickr, our social media accounts, and so it's a live app at all times. Let's see. Even links to embedded links to our brand new homepage, which you saw on the big screen, because it is a mobile compatible website. And then we can put additional links like our student handbook. They can simply click on handbook and the handbook launches before them. It's on their device for what they need. So it's accessible anywhere. Not available yet for the Windows Phone market. They're working on that. It's, soon to be. So we're really excited about that. It gives students access, and teachers right at their fingertips for their programs and classes. Not only for social media marketing, but for academics. For a student to log in from any of their mobile devices, grab a document, work on things from home remotely. It does work on the iPad as well, so it's pretty cool. We're very excited about that. It's been many months of development, and we own the app. The CDC owns the app. So any updates that come out to it, automatically gets pushed just like any other app would on your device, and it just go and download the free update. So we're very excited about that in conjunction with the new website. Questions on that?
Pretty impressive.
Will students be able to take tests at home on there? I mean, in the Blackboard environment.
In the Blackboard environment, they can. I don't know the full possibilities yet of how every teacher's going to utilize the app. If they certainly log in with their secure credentials, I'm sure that they could.
And like nightly reading.
Right.
Yeah, there's tons of opportunities for teachers. They could do surveys, they could do quizzes, question and answers with students, just on their iPhones and their telephones.
Yeah.
They could put up study guides and so forth ahead of time for
What's neat about Blackboard and the mobile app kind of behind it, Blackboard drives the app, but teachers have their own control of their own classes. So any content that a teacher puts on Edline, their students through our database are automatically linked to that class. So if I were, say, medical professions and I logged in, it's only going to show me medical professions and all my content. But it's also going to show me school content that we've made available at a higher level that everyone can see. So,
and how about you as the administrator? Do you see it overall?
Yes, the admins are super users of the accounts and see everything and control what gets posted and what doesn't get posted with those guidelines. So pretty user friendly. We're looking forward to students getting their hands on it here next week. Another update for you on the Sustainable Foods Program. The greenhouse has been delivered and been moved and been stored out of way for right now. I've been meeting with the middle school, Tim Payne, and their ag committee, and Jim Marsden. We've done some field visits up there about where this greenhouse might go and what it might look like, and continuing to develop the program, basically. They're very excited to have us. We're excited to be there. It's going to be an excellent opportunity to put an instructor up there in front of 8th graders for future enrollment for our school. And we're excited about that. Construction should begin in the fall for that, before the growing season totally ends. But it's a pretty good sized greenhouse. The last check, it's 32 by 70 some feet long. So it is a big greenhouse.
Bigger than my house.
It's a huge greenhouse. Should grow lots of food.
Grow a lot of food. Yeah.
Grow a lot of food. So that's all I have for my report tonight. Is there any other questions?
Nice job in technology. It's impressive to see that we're staying ahead of the game there. It's certainly what the young people today are involved in.
Ms. Vaughn, we've wanted that for a long time.
Yeah, that's right. The chair's report, I really don't have much more to report. I've been working very intensely with the committees. I have not had anything other than a meeting with again, the Bennington Town Selectmen last week. Pretty much the discussion there was on the Silver Street housing project. And the superintendent of the SVSU did make an appeal to the Bennington Selectmen at that meeting that if anything comes up like that in the future, that he needs to have ample time from the Selectmen to know, to give him information so that he can do his research and study. So as soon as they know of any large-scale project or anything of that nature coming into the community, he appreciates to be informed so that we can go to work on it. Well, they all agree that certainly is a better way to handle it rather than last-minute maneuvering. So that's really all I have for the chair report. I want to look at the agenda here and just make some quick changes before we go into executive session. I think that we can go ahead and move on a couple action items. A couple we cannot until we come out, the administrative contracts and maybe the program adjustments. But we can move on the allocation agreement and the nominations, so we should probably do that. Is there an update on that allocation agreement at all, Stephanie? You got it on that? No? The only thing that...
I mean, it won't be adjusted, it'll most likely be adjusted by our FTEs for this year. And then, going forward, it'll be a little bit of this.
So our allocation, that has to do with our allocation to Mount Anthony for expenses.
For certain expenses.
Certain expenses.
Nursing and benefits and things.
It's based on our student count.
Some of it is.
Yeah. And then there's a percentage it's based on as well. So
Square footage.
and that's all needs to be determined, and then we'll go back and make adjustments of any expenses that occurred since July 1st, based on that agreement.
They haven't started billing the expenses that are
Okay.
student-based, so right now it's just based on the square footage.
Okay. We are going to, Stephanie's going to try to arrange a meeting so that we do meet with the business manager of the SBS Finance Committee. We'll get together and look at a whole new allocation and discuss what else we have to pass. That is going to move forward.
Yep, good.
Yeah. And we've got some positive response. I did speak with Mr. Marston about that. He agrees. So I think with a little work we can come up with something. All right, so we don't need any action, take any action on that right now. Non-form, there is one for a guidance counselor in our packet. Can I have a motion for the acceptance of that?
So moved.
Second. Okay, Ricky and Kevin. Any discussion? You see that we had 7 applicants for that job. They did interview 4.
I kind of like the fact that this person also taught at the college level. That's a kind of an inkling of how to guide students up.
And we're expecting her to start when?
She'll be in the building hopefully tomorrow.
Wow, good. Well, all of those have been in favor of this applicant. Please signify by raising your hand. Unanimous, fine. Okay. That being accomplished, and we will go into executive session probably for some time, and we'll come back and we will have official vote on the administrative contracts and then program adjustments. All right, so can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Ed and contracts and for personnel, yeah. Yes, thank you. Okay, all those in favor? We're going across to the cosmetology room today.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. We have a number of action items then for the open session we will address. We're going to start with a couple of resignations that have come in. Mike, you want to give us the detail on those?
Yeah, we have had 2 resignations over the course of the summer. One out of the second teacher in cosmetology and also the business management instructor resigned this summer.
Move to accept those resignations?
Second. All in favor? It's unanimous part. Okay, you got all of that then? Okay. On the positions as well.
Yeah. Got lost. On the way back. Rick.
Resignation thing is done.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I didn't realize you weren't here.
Well, that's all right.
We had the motion to accept the resignations. How do you vote on that?
In favor.
Yeah, all right. That's unanimous. Pass these over to you. Okay. We have administrative contracts before us tonight to take action on as well. Do I have a motion to accept the administrative contracts? As presented by the superintendent, who will present those. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Second, John. And Mike, you want to present those then?
Certainly. The first contract is the assistant to the business manager. It's a contract with 1 more year remaining on the contract to an agreed upon salary of $36,906.41. The second contract up is for the business manager. This is a contract that expires in 2016. This would be an agreed upon salary of $43,890. The third contract we have tonight is for the IT hardware and computer technician. This is a contract that expires in 2016 with an agreed upon salary of $57,475. The final contract before us this evening is for the Assistant Director for Adult Education. This will be a new 3-year contract from 2014 to 2017 with an agreed upon salary of $77,200.
So
Those are all
moved.
the contracts.
Any further discussion on those? All in favor? It's unanimous. Okay, we have some program adjustments as well that we are ready to move on. We have on the table on the agenda the engineering program, the concept program, and we are also ready to address the cosmetology position. So I would like a motion on those programs. We'll do one at a time. We'll start with the engineering.
Move that we suspend the engineering program for 1 year.
Second.
Any further discussion on the engineering program? That was presented earlier that we will be looking the STEM initiative that the state is proposing to replace this program with. There's no set time or date that would go back to committee for study and for recommendations. All those in favor then of suspending the engineering program, please signify by raising your hand. That's unanimous. The communications technology program.
Move that we suspend it for 1 year.
Second.
Okay. We have had no applicants for the position at this time, so we are going to suspend that program as well. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor then please signify by raising your hand. That's unanimous as well. And we have an adjustment we want to make on the cosmetology program.
Move that we increase the second position to a .75 hours.
Second. And that's to comply with state regs with regard to supervision, hours of supervision, right?
That's right. And from what I understand, there are applicants that have come in on those. We just need more time for interviews, et cetera, on that. So, any further discussion on that? Then all in favor, please signify by raising your hand to move that position to 75. Unanimous as well. Is there any other business before the board this evening? Let's see, and then we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Jackie, second by Ed. All in favor? Thank you for coming this evening. For your work, ladies and gentlemen.